ready.
Welcome to another episode of Buff in the Rough. Today we'll hear from Izzy Knote about Scottish Highlander Cattle, Cornhole Tournaments, her hound that sounds like an opera singer, and a lot more. Help me welcome Izzy to the program. Well, hey Izzy, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I can't complain. Thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate you sharing a little bit more about you, about your history and the hounds, and I can't wait to get to know you a little bit better. So, Izzy,
Yeah.
for people that maybe don't know you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into hunting?
Yeah, so I think I got into about 4 or 5 years ago. My mom was running dogs, and I didn't really like it at first. I thought it was boring. I was pretty young, but then I actually started paying attention, and I just fell in love with it. I'm 17. I'm a senior in high school from Indiana. I live in northern Indiana, and I'm going to be a welder.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, Izzy, what else are you into? Because I've heard that you're into cattle or horses, or what else do you have going on?
Yeah, so I have a couple Jersey calves. Those are steers that we're gonna be selling. Then we have my big herd, which is Scottish Highlander Cattle. Which, if you're not familiar, they're known as mini cattle, but half of them aren't really mini cattle because the amount of breeds we have like bred them with are just. So there's they're Angus, Dexter, Highlander cross. And then I have a couple horses, which are just for trail riding. I don't like competition. I don't do anything competitive with them, but that's about it, yeah.
All right. So, what makes a mini cow? I mean, is it a size? Is it a pound? I mean, is it a
Yeah,
weight?
it's like, so when our calves are born, they are like really, really small. So it could look like a puppy. Not that small, but like,
Wow.
you know what I'm talking about. Like I don't know how to describe it really, but they are really small. And half of them, some of them I have that go up to like to my waist, and I'm pretty short, so I'm 5'2", so that explains a little how small they are. But then we have other ones that we bred. There's a couple shorthorn in there, and they are full grown. I mean, half of them, it really depends on how their genes are, but some of them, like, that you can't even tell they're mini cattle because of the way they grew. But,
What's the advantage of having mini cattle?
well, we don't have to do any vaccines or anything like that. We leave the calves on the mother until they wean them off themselves, and that helps their health a lot. But we don't have to do vaccines. We don't have to do, like, we don't tag or anything. I mean, we sell freezer beef, so we just load them up and take them. But pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Just pasture pets, basically.
Pasture pets. I love it. Well, tell me about welding, because I didn't know that. So I know there's a shortage around where I live. I'm in North Carolina, and there's a shortage of welders here. Are you seeing that in Indiana too?
Yeah, so there's actually, I just got another job offer, but there is places everywhere around here that need help.
So,
Pretty much like down there, yeah.
so do you already know how to weld?
Yeah, I'm in it's basically a trade school.
Mm-hmm.
And I go half day, and I'll have my certs by the end of the year, hopefully. So,
So you're
and I
going.
can work.
So if I got this right, you'll finish like high school and already have all your certs, and you're ready to go.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to ask you about your name, Izzy. Is Izzy short for something else, or is Izzy a nickname, or is Izzy your name?
Yeah, Izzy's my nickname. My full name's Isabella. I just think it's too long, so I shortened it. Mom gave me that name.
I love it. So, favorite hounds. I love to ask people about their favorite hounds that they have. And over these past 4 or so years, have you had any hounds that you guys have personally owned or hunted or campaigned that are your favorites?
Yes, so I have, obviously, Ren is she's my favorite. She's always been my favorite. I kind of stole her from my mom. But then we also had a female named Halfway Lucky Charms, and she was a red female. I mean, she wasn't anything like, she wasn't really built for UKC.
Mm-hmm.
She's slow. She's like, not slow, but she's so true to the track. But I just loved going out and running with her. And I think we sold her, and she had a couple of litters, I'm pretty sure. And
mm-hmm.
She's out of Annie B too, I think. Like Ren, but yep, those are my two favorites.
Well, I've heard a lot about Ren, and what makes Ren special? I mean, what makes her good, and especially, maybe not just special to you personally, but what makes her special and so competitive? Because, my goodness, she's done a lot of winning.
Yeah. So when she was like a year and a half, she was like she was now, or like even a little better. Then she kind of like, not, she didn't fall off. We didn't know why. Her drive went completely away. She just was standing around. And then we found out she was anemic, and so we started giving her stuff for that, and that seemed to help. And then we bred her, and that seemed to, I mean, everything just clicked after that. And obviously, as you see, this last year, I mean, it just completely flipped her switch. What makes her successful is she's really good in the check area, but I mean, it's like all things. I will say she does have a downside. She has a really good nose, which can help sometimes, and then, or she can just get on a baby bunny, which is not good, and take a minus. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, they're all dogs. They're going to have their days. They're going to have their mistakes, but she's really good at striking, and her speed and drive, I think, is pretty good. Sometimes she goes a little too wild, too fast for me, but yeah, that's how she runs mostly.
Well, describe her. Just tell us a little bit about what she looks like and what she sounds like. And
she is a blanket back, so she's all black and tan. I love her. She's so pretty. She's just like, all of my dogs basically look the same. My mom's, and people always like, who is that? Because they seriously like all look the same. So it's her, Chop, which poor Chop was her litter mate, and then we have Lou, which is I think she's 2 now, and that is Lucky, the female I was talking about earlier. That's her and Chop's pup. But Ren, her mouth is like, I kind of call her an opera singer because she's got a ball mouth, but it sounds like she's singing. It's not like deep or anything. It's pretty high.
Well, I've seen pictures of her. You're right. She is a beautiful dog. She's really pretty.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you early on. You mentioned you're in Indiana. What's the hunting like where you live? What's it look like?
So I'm up by I'm 5 minutes from Michigan. So my mom lives about an hour south. So down by her, it's a bunch of reservoirs. And we trade dogs a lot because sometimes when I don't have enough time to run up for the big hunts, she would take them and we'd switch. And she helped me a lot. But up by me, it's mostly ag. I mean, we run a lot of ag. I farm with my dad, so that's what I run in a lot. And then private spots, just like woods and fence row, but mostly brush. So dog has to go hunt to find something. I mean, going to a field, like a bean field or something, they're going to have to go find one, but I like it.
Well, Izzy, I was trying to do some homework on you, and it was pretty easy because all I had to do was just look at some of the winning scorecards from this year, and I think I have this right, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and this is just this year I'm talking about. I think you've won a couple of state championships and maybe came up reserve on a couple more.
Yes.
And when I say a couple of state championships and a couple of reserves, that would be 4 different states that you either finished first or second place in. And then with the NHBA, and for folks listening, that's the National Hunting Beagle Association, kind of tied to UKC, you finished second place overall. And because of your age, you finished first place in the youth series as well. Could you tell us a little bit about maybe some of your, because that's a lot of hunting and that's a lot of miles that you've traveled, a lot of hard work, I guarantee it. Could you tell us maybe some of your favorite memories, that have happened this past year? And that could be big wins, it could be tough losses. But just share with us a little bit about some of your favorite things from this past year.
Well, people always say, "Oh my gosh, like you, how do you win so much?" I'm like, I run my dog. I run my dog, and I haven't ran recently much because I've been in school and my mom's had them. But it's just simple. I mean, you got to get your dog on tracks. Your dog's not going to do well if it just sits there. So, but my favorite memories, I have to say, watching the cornhole tournaments at Hunt's. That's pretty fun. When Joe and all them, they get to play in cornhole. It's pretty hilarious just to sit back and watch. But my my hunting memories, I remember, I think it was the semifinals of the PA state hunt, which I ended up winning. Me and Joe drew against each other. And it was the last 2 minutes, and he scored a line, and I missed with like 2 minutes left, and I was just praying. I was so nervous. My stomach was a mess. I probably could have thrown up. And then it was like 15 seconds left in the hunt, and they're still running this rabbit, and they come right in front of us, and we call a line, and I scored it, and he didn't with like 7 seconds left.
Oh.
And I just love like running with people that, like, obviously the people that were in the top 8, like Jake and Gus and all them. I love drawing them because I love the competition of it. Like, since we were always so close in points, it was just fun because you're going to have a good cast. But yeah.
Well, a couple of follow-up questions. Who's the best cornhole player?
I'd have to say Joe.
And you're talking about Joe Merritt?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, my kennel partner, sorry. Yeah. And then I'd say Joe and Vandergriff are pretty dang good cornhole players. I can't play to save my life, but it's fun to watch.
That's fun. There's a lot of downtime at hunts that people don't see. There's a lot of waiting around and that kind of stuff. So it's good if you can have some fun in between.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, listen, I know you've hunted at the highest levels. You've hunted all over the country, and I know you've bound to have run across some really good hounds. You just mentioned some. What are a few of the hounds that have really caught your eye over the past year or so that really you found to be very impressive?
So I obviously don't know much about like the history, and because I've only been in it for like 4 or 5 years. And I didn't like grow up in it, so I don't know all the names. But from what I've seen, I mean, there's so many like dogs that you see in a cast, and I've seen it before. You run with them one time, and they look freaking amazing, and then the next time you're like, what? But sometimes they're just dogs. So my dog is the same thing. They're gonna run the way they run. But some dogs that I've seen, like, in a cast I've ran with that have, like, blown my mind. They've just whooped me, basically. I'd have to go with... I'm going to go with Joe on this one, whole shot. I have been smoked by him. And I have also been smoked by Bailey, Big Bad Bailey, which is Brian Hutton. And then I'd say... I don't know if you know Opie. That's Eli, my kennel partner, but obviously since we're in the same kennel, we used to draw each other, all the time. Opie he's a nice little dog, and he's whooped me multiple times. I'm trying to think of other ones. I can't really think of it. It's hard on the spot.
Well, there's a lot of good hounds out there.
Yeah, there is.
You mentioned earlier that the first part of rabbit hunting for you when you're first introduced was kind of boring. You weren't really sure about it, and then something happened, and along the way, and I've got a feeling you really enjoy it now. So, what are some of your favorite things about rabbit hunting?
So my favorite things is I really like to just go in the woods and it's peace and quiet. I mean, I don't have to. I can just be by myself, or I can like go run with people. But I like the just the peacefulness of the woods. And then I also love listening to them run, especially Rin because I love her mouth so much. But just listening to a good pack of dogs in the woods, I don't think it can get much better than that.
Well, I mean, especially if your dog sounds like an opera singer. I mean, you know, how much better can it get, really? So this really leads into my next question, and that was going to be: do you like competition hunting, or do you like pleasure hunting? Whether that's by yourself or with your friends, do you like one more than the other?
Yeah, I say I like both of them for certain reasons. So I like running, not competition, just by my pleasure running for the peacefulness of it. But then I also like competition because I mean, you never know what your dog's gonna go out there and do. If something could happen, you never know. So I just love just going out and seeing who the best dog is on the ground. And if it's not me, then it's not me. But I love having that head-to-head because that feeling you get in your stomach when the dog, especially in big hunts, when there's a line called and the dogs are coming right up to it and it's just, you all feel like you're going to puke. I mean, it sounds terrible, but it's so fun.
It does. Well, as you started getting into these puke fest and you really getting into hunting, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced kind of starting out?
Yeah, so sticking up for myself would be probably the top one. I feel like I'm pretty easy to deal with in a cast. I mean, I just go out there and do what we're supposed to. But being a girl too, it's not really an advantage. Definitely not out in cast with certain people, but there's always going to be those in every sport you go into. But sticking up for myself would probably be the best one. I learned to do that, and helped pretty much this year, as you can see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up, excuse me, being a girl, because I'm a little older than you, and I remember a time when there just weren't many girls at the clubhouse. There weren't many women that competed, and I've seen a big change, especially in like the last 5 to 10 years. Just a really big change. I see a lot of young women coming into the sport, not only competing but doing very well, like yourself, and going out there and really dominating. And so I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you just kind of a follow up. Did you feel disadvantaged in any way, or was it tougher being a young woman coming in? Do you think it's tougher for a woman than a man getting started in the sport?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it happens everywhere. It's not that big of a deal, but people are going to look down on you and count you out. But if it ain't about me, it's about the dog. So I think they learned that pretty quick. Me and her team. She does most of the work, and I just strike her in.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's working out for you.
Yeah, but that I did draw. What cast was? I think it was at Nationals one year. I drew. So my mom was spectating, so it was me and her, and then I drew 2 other girls, and it was like amazing because obviously I run with guys, so I don't really run with women, and it was so fun, and it was literally all of us and one guy. It was hilarious, but it was fun to be out there and have something to talk about.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you another question. If you could, because you've been doing this for a while, and you've been competing at a very high level, I know there's always changes to rules that people talk about every year or so, and they vote on them. Are there any rules that you would like to see changed, either, or maybe some just taken away, or maybe some added, or just some modified? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so there is the top one everybody's talking about is the TT15s, the shocking collars. And I say, you don't have to everybody has an opinion, either yes or no. I say scratch yes or no. We could have one hunt. It doesn't even have to be a big hunt. Like somebody could test trial it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always gets in arguments. I hear this that every hunt I go to, their major hunt they're talking about because the worlds and then they do the panels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I say just trial it. Do a trial run of the thing, and if you don't like it, then go back to the other one. See what's best to keep for our sport. But I don't really think I'd change any rules right now. I think it's pretty good.
That's sage advice. I like that. You kind of try it before you buy it.
They say they're going to cheat. I'm like, they're going to cheat anyways.
Yeah.
Gonna find another way to cheat.
Mm-hmm. I think probably that is one of the biggest debates right now is that very rule and that rule change. And the biggest supporters I hear for making the changes for safety reasons. Just being able to tone your dogs back if they get too close to a road or get into trouble somewhere, which I think is a really good argument. I mean, it's hard to argue against that.
Yeah, it is.
It's when you're out there competing with these folks. Is there anybody you like to beat a little bit more than anybody else?
Not really. I just like to win.
Come on, Izzy. There's somebody you really just like to stick it to. I know there has to be, right?
I'd go with probably drawing out with my own kennel. It's always fun. You draw your friends or people you talk to a lot at certain hunts, and to draw them and see who wins is pretty fun. But
there's probably
I also love drawing youth a lot because obviously the youth series and the head-to-head and seeing if one of us can pull a win out is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that sounds like there's a lot of respect there, though, for the folks that you hunt with. That those are the folks you like to beat because I feel like you probably know they're packing a good hound.
Yep.
And if you can beat them, that's a good thing. It says a lot about what you're doing.
Big thing in this sport. I mean, you deal it, you're going to get it probably. So I try to be respectful to everybody that I come across. Sometimes it's pretty hard, but
oh yeah.
I try.
Izzy, if you could create the perfect hound for the registry you're hunting in, what would that hound look like? What would they sound like? How would they hunt if you could create your perfect hound?
A mini Ren. Ren is my perfect hound already. Except I would change her nose. So, like, if we're running on frost, I've seen her just absolutely demolish a pack on frost. Like, she's the only one that can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
But she also gets herself in those situations where she likes to bark on a baby bunny and takes a minus or just finds the old track. And so I think I'd tone her nose down a little bit, but I always say that dog's like my child. She's like my baby.
Oh, they really are part of the family, especially those really special ones like that.
Oh yeah, she loves my bed.
Do you have any advice for others that may be considering getting into rabbit hunting, and that's whether it's competition hunting or just hunting for fun?
Yeah, I'd say if you're going into competition hunting, study that rule book front to back. I mean, when I first started, I don't even want to know how many times I got cheated, but at the same time, I didn't know any of the rules. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can study the rules, but until you get out there and go to a couple, I mean, you're not going to really know how it works. And so I went, and before I started, I would spectate casts and see how it works before I started.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty simple as that. It's hard to know what you're going to expect if you haven't done it before, because when I first started, I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? But now that I've learned everything, once you get all the rules down pat, it's more fun because you don't have to be questioning yourself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's pretty simple.
Do you ever judge casts?
I have before, not really though, because usually they have other people too and don't need me.
Mm-hmm. Because I found that that's a really good way to learn as well. When you're holding the scorecard, you really need to try to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can also be your own worst critic too. Most of the really good judges I know are really hard on their dogs.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the future, and one thing is just from your perspective, do you think our sport's in a good place right now? Do you feel good about the future, just overall, just in general?
Yeah, I think it is. I think there's one problem, though. I
Mm-hmm.
think that there is not enough, as I'm talking personally about up here at least. I don't know about other places, but I'm just losing spots to run left and right. People they just don't want to deal with it, and they just shut off their woods, and it's like, oh, okay. But I've seen a lot less and less more amount of spots being available. But other than that, I think our sport's in a pretty good place. I mean, there's a good number of people at hunts now. I mean, I've seen it go up, but
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. I think even here where I live, there's a lot of competition for hunting spots. And as we're taping this now, we're really running up on the new year, and so many of our places to small game hunt, whether it's rabbit hunting, coon hunting, squirrel hunting, they're locked up by deer leases. And
yep, that's exactly what happened to all of my spots.
yeah, we just
I
can't.
had two.
Yeah, we just can't get access to them. So here I am sitting around waiting for these spots to clear out, so we can get some hunting in for like a month or a month and a half before the season runs out. It really shortens that small game calendar for us, and that's a really tough part here. So it sounds like it's the same where you live, and probably very similar throughout the country.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Well, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? You show up, you're 4 years on the scene, you're taking over, you're dominating. You're dominating not only for a young woman in the youth series, but just take away that. You're like number 2 in the country, just period.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. That's a big honor. Is this something you think you'll keep doing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to run for points every year. I mean, it gets tiring, but I am obviously going to be graduating and getting a job. So I'm not going to go to as many hunts, but I don't think I'll quit. I don't think there's any way I would. I mean, I think I'd take a break at most, but I think I'm always going to have a dog.
Izzy, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that I should have? Or is there anything we didn't cover that you want to talk about? Or anything you want to promote?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, Izzy, thank you so much for spending time with us. I really enjoyed learning more about you, learning more about Ren, and hearing some of your memories from the past year.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Buff in the Rough. And remember to like and subscribe if you want to be notified when we have new content available. And please send comments and suggestions to buffintherough@gmail.com.